Hello everyone. Today we will be discussing the blaring issues in the way that gods are being ported to Smite 2. This video will be separated into 3 sections featuring the current process, the problems with this process, and how it can be fixed. For those unfamiliar, Hi-Rez has stated that they will be releasing 2 to 3 gods every 3 weeks, with teasers in between the 3 weeks. Now, compared to Smite 1, where we were getting a new god every 3 months, that doesn't sound too bad, right? Well, yes, it is a problem because the issues in this process are just as painfully obvious as they are easy to fix. So here are mine and many others' troubling complications with it. Problem number 1, the teasers. Now I do believe that this is a lesser problem, but I do think it's still worth mentioning. The way that they tease upcoming gods is through posting little hints here and there to reveal what the next gods to be ported will be. Now you're probably thinking, what's bad about this? Well, it's not necessarily the teasers themselves, but more when they're doing it. And if you ask my opinion, I really don't think they should be doing them at all. When they posted the teasers for the next 2 gods, it made me excited at the time, but over the last 2 weeks, I honestly forgot that they were even being added to the game. The lack of build-up is just extremely apparent, and while it isn't that big of an issue, they could very easily change it. Which brings me to my next point. The gods they are choosing to add to the game. Now, I understand that everyone enjoys different characters, and I'm down for that, but it feels like the community gets no say at all in what gods get ported over next. So here would be my plan to involve the community. Let me know if you agree. First, I would make sure that no class could be repeated, with the exception of mages every release. An example of what I mean by this is, say for instance they poured over an assassin. Then for the next couple of releases, it would be gods from other classes. Now yes, I know that there are more mages than every other class, but that is where triple releases come in. Say every 2 or 3 weeks they add an extra mage to that release to help stabilize the flow. Now for my second step, which is polls. Let the community vote on a poll for which god should be added from each class next. And it's really as simple as that. And listen, I know nothing about the time it takes them to create gods and port them to Smite 2, but a friend of mine did the math and it will take over 2 years for every god to get ported. So to all my one-trick arena mains out there, tough luck, I guess. Anyways, on to my next point. The inconsistency in the creativity. Some of these changes feel creative and make the characters more fun, like Ymir's ice wall change, and split scaling being pretty fun to mess around with. But then there's some areas where it feels like they didn't even give it a shot. For example, Odin's passive. The idea of Odin's passive in Smite 1 was honestly pretty boring, and all it did was give extra stats as people die. They very slightly tweaked it, but I really feel like they could have tried something cooler, especially for a god as well known as Odin in mythology. Now for my last point, which is honestly just me going out on a limb. But if they keep adding these spicy changes to gods and people enjoy it, they're bound to spice some things up a little too much. But again, this is all just me overthinking it. I hope. But now for a quick summary. First, we went over the process of god releases and its details such as teasers and the god release schedule. Second, we discussed the flaws in this process, like poor timing, lack of suspense, and the inconsistency in creativity. Finally, we talked about how we could fix these issues, such as creating a whole new process altogether. Overall, I believe this is the main reason people are maybe not enjoying Smite 2, and I feel that it's not being addressed enough. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. If you made it to the end, you're a G. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I hope you all have a blessed day.